we have some big breaking news coming in. Supreme Court is hearing Enforcement Directorate's plea on I-PAC raids. Enforcement Directorate before the topmost court says, and I quote, CM Mamata and the cops reached raid site and obstructed probe. Enforcement Directorate says Bengal police acted as political workers. ED further adds that TMC interfered with the investigation. The Enforcement Directorate also tells Supreme Court that the Chief Minister took away evidences without authorization. This is ED's submission before the topmost court as far as Mamata's obstruction of central agency probe is concerned. Remember, on that day, Mamata Banerjee rushed to I-PAC office, rushed to Pratik Jain's residence, and she snatched away the phones. She also obstructed the investigation, and when she reached the I-PAC office, she made away with files which she claims has the political strategy of the TMC and also very, very sensitive information regarding the assembly polls as well. Now, the Enforcement Directorate is making a very, very strong case against Mamata Banerjee and her top cops because the Enforcement Directorate says that Mamata Banerjee interfered with the investigation into a coal scam case. And according to the Enforcement Directorate, they had credible leads that there was money laundering happening across West Bengal, and they suspected I-PAC was one of those centers through which money was being allegedly laundered. We have our input editor Brijesh joining us on the phone line. Brijesh, Enforcement Directorate seems to be making a very, very strong case against Mamata Banerjee and her police. Tell us more, Brijesh.
Well, what has happened is basically the Enforcement Directorate has moved a plea before the Supreme Court, and they're saying that they wanted court to act against the DGP because they said that when the investigation was being carried out by them under suitable sections, Mamata Banerjee's police came out, and the police was acting as political workers, and under the supervision of the DGP and other senior police officers, they took away the EDC evidences which was without any proper authorization and which was with the Enforcement Directorate, and they called it, ED called it a theft by the West Bengal police, and also the fact that all of this was done without proper authorization. Attorney General is also claiming that the cell phones of ED officers were also taken away by West Bengal police, and the officers were threatened with dire consequences by West Bengal police, thereby laying a big impact on their morale. So they have also moved petition for the DGP suspension. They are saying that this DGP acted as a political worker. He should not have come there and tried to threaten the ED officer, carry away all the evidence material which was there without any proper authorization, and this is the reason why this should have he should be suspended, and they are saying that stern action should be taken against Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. So as an example is set where people do not interfere with the investigation, otherwise there is going to be a lot of the morale of the force will be diminished.
And the day after, Mamata Banerjee, counter-raided the Enforcement Directorate at the I-PAC office. You know what she said? She came out in a massive public rally and said that she didn't act as the chief minister. She acted as a party chief. And as a party chief, you cannot use state machinery, for your own intentions, especially not for obstructing a central agency's investigation.
Absolutely, and I think what has happened there is definitely a clear breach of how a particular investigative agency work. If you have any issue with the investigative agency or the raid which is being carried out, there are proper forum. There is court which you can approach the court, the Kolkata High Court about this particular. If you feel that that the investigative agency is acting against you and acting in a biased manner, but you cannot barge into a middle of an ongoing investigation and not only threaten the officers but also take away, as claimed by the ED, incriminating documents which amounts to even theft. So it clearly is something which we have not seen happening before, and it will be very, very interesting to see what the court says, because the ED is also seeking removal of the West Bengal DGP because he's saying that he's acted more as a political worker rather than as someone who's entrusted with enforcing law and order situation in the state.
And look at the way they were carrying files, Brijesh, and today any observation, any direction, and also a possible rebuke from the Supreme Court could entirely alter the political narrative in West Bengal.
Absolutely. I think, all eyes are there as far as this ED versus DD is happening, as far as in the Supreme Court is concerned, and it'll be very, very interesting to see whether what kind of view the court takes of the way West Bengal police have behaved, the way Mamata Banerjee, sitting chief minister, has barged into the investigation which is carried out. Trinamool Congress says that this is all for politics. They are saying that whenever a state has gone to election or is about to go into election, ED starts raiding, and I-PAC is something which was doing political consultancy. TMC was doing political consultancy with them, and the real purpose of the raid was to gain documents of the election of Trinamool Congress and how they intend and plan and fight this particular election. So that is the reason why Mamata Banerjee went there. So both sides are presenting the argument. The states as opposition parties, we have seen how they have talked about the way ED functions, as ED functions an extension of central government or rather BJP's vendetta politics. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what the Supreme Court makes of this particular petition which has been moved before them, seeking removal of DGP of West Bengal and also taking action against Mamata Banerjee.
That's right, Brijesh. Thank you so much for joining us with those insights. Well, the face-off continues and it has reached the topmost court. All eyes on what the Supreme Court will say or order. That is something that remains to be seen.